Hello, everyone, and welcome to Grand Rapids Christian Middle School Winter Athletics. Mr. Burney explains a few things that should be explained. We're going to start with practices and game schedules. As we start talking about practice and game schedules, there's two websites I want to bring to your attention. First is ours, which will have our game schedules on it and a map to each location. Your child's coach will be listed, and then you can click on that game and get a map to the venue. Additionally, at Graciac, you can find event locations. Also, you'll find the rules posted there. It's good to know the rules before we get worked up about certain things with coach or with officials. So make sure you check those out for your grade level. And also the cancellation hotline, text hotline to 84483. Quickly to the websites. Here's our website. This is the athletics calendar right here. And you can see the coach's last name, the game. If you were to click on that, you can get a map. Okay? That's the best way to use this website. Practices will not be listed on here. Practice schedules this winter and moving forward will all be communicated by the coach. They will not appear on the internet schedule I just showed you. So please, if you have questions about practices, email coach. If you're not hearing from them, continue to email them, call them. They'll give you their contact information. And if for some reason that is not working, then you can let me know and I'll work with coach. And just a reminder that when we signed up, there was something that said, by signing up for athletics, you're agreeing to attend all practices, games, and team events for the duration of the season. And we take that seriously for a lot of reasons. One, we try to keep team sizes as small as possible so that children can have the best experience, the most playing time, the best ratio of coaching to playing. And so when someone chooses not to play, it really puts a crimp in what we're able to do, and it affects sometimes a ton of people. If we have 16 kids and one person quits, we have to stop having two teams of 8, and we have to switch that to a team of 15. And that becomes a very different experience for kids. If there's some outstanding circumstance, please contact me. We do not provide transportation to or from athletic games. In most practices, we do not as well. The exception is if your child has a 3:15 practice after school. At the elementary school, they can ride bus 15 from the middle school right over to the elementary, so you don't have to pick them up on those days. You can pick them up from the elementary school at the end of practice. Additionally, if your team practices at Evergreen, you can ride bus 18. If you have a late practice, a 4:45 start, children can't ride those buses and sit at those schools. There's no supervision, and we'd be held liable for anything that happens. So late practices, kids have to go home or go to a friend's house and then come back. Graciac provides game schedules for us. As I said, I will post those online, but wanted to make sure that you knew that they're providing them to us. We're relaying that information. A lot of times cancellations or changes come from them, and so we have to work with that and be flexible. We appreciate your flexibility and understanding with that as we move forward. Couple of equations for middle school math class involving athletics. Development is more important than winning. Simply, this means winning is important, but it is not the most important thing. Kids want to have fun. Often adults want to win. It's our job to balance those things. Developing kids' skills helps us be successful down the road, helps your children be successful down the road. I'll always defend my coaches when they spend a lot of practice time on skill development, strategy understanding, devotional time, and team building, because those things are fundamental to success down the road. We want to win, but it is not more important to us than developing Christian characters. The next equation is, if winning becomes more important than fun and enjoying athletics, there's going to be a conversation. And that goes for students and it goes for parents. A lot of times these things get a little bit out of proportion, and often we make winning, the desire to win, makes us cheer and yell at officials. It makes us cheer and yell at coaches. It makes us mad at other players. And if those things become more important, winning, and it forces us to not have fun and not to enjoy ourselves and enjoy athletics at Grand Rapids Christian, it's something that we're going to have a conversation with. Whether that's myself and your child, or if it has to do with a parent, then I'm more than willing to have that conversation too. We have to make sure that at Grand Rapids Christian, we are honoring the idea that fun and enjoyment and developing Christian character and displaying Christian character in all that we do as a fan or as a player is more important than winning. The final equation is that proper behavior and proper academics equal an opportunity, a privilege to play. So for our students, if they're treating their teammates well, treating the coach well with honor and respect, they're going to get the opportunity to participate. They're going to have that privilege. However, privileges are not rights. And if students are not behaving appropriately in games, foul language, inappropriate gestures, or things that they say, whether it's to officials, coaches, other players from either team, people in the stands, they'll lose their privilege. Additionally, with the classroom, our teaching teams check every week on the academics that our students have, and if they're performing to their best or performing well, then they can continue to have the privilege. They will decide if a student is not doing a job that honors their privilege to continue in athletics, and then they communicate that with me and I communicate it with you. A quick note about hosting events. In 5th and 6th grade basketball, we typically don't get to host because we have a very big court. And most of the other schools don't have big courts, and so they get to host a lot of 5th and 6th grade basketball games because they're not able to host 7th and 8th grade games. There is an entry fee at each of the facilities. For us, we don't ask for donations, we don't ask for fundraising drives for Grand Rapids Christian Middle School Athletics, and those entry fees go to support our program, provide the uniforms, the basketballs that our budget does not provide. Your entry fees at our games are a huge help for us providing the things that our kids need in athletics. Supportive parenting can make the difference between a great season and a nightmare season. And I want you to know that because you guys play such a huge role as supporters of the program, of coaches, and of kids. And also of the Grand Rapids Christian reputation. So quickly, game behavior. If you need a guideline, please be positive or neutral toward everyone. When we get negative, when we get loud and negative, that's when things go wrong. Communicating with coach, please do it respectfully, meaning discreetly, not in public, not in front of people, but also when you're communicating with coach about absences or things that are confusing, please do that in a timely manner so no one is surprised. Finally, conflict and concern. Should you have that, request a meeting, but before you do that, please teach our kids how to have proper character. Give them a chance to develop that instead of us doing it for them. Invite the player, your son or daughter, to talk to the coach. This will create a better opportunity for relationship development between the player and coach. In 99.9% of the time ends up in a positive situation because the player and the coach have a greater respect for each other. When we plow the way, we don't give kids an opportunity to have challenging conversations and develop themselves. We're bulldozing the way for them. So please help them do that. And then if it doesn't work, please follow the rest of the procedures below. This honors coaches and it honors the players and their development as well. Simply, in 5th through 7th grade, we split the teams equally. Not sure what other schools do, but we split the teams equally and go out and compete and have as much fun as possible. In 8th grade, we also try to have as much fun as possible, but because our league has an A league and a B league, split by developmental level, we also try to do that where we can. So we will also have an A team and a B team. Finally, whenever we make teams and whenever we're parents, coaches, players, it's important to remember that perfection is not possible. We don't expect perfection out of ourselves, and as we go into this winter season, I want to encourage you not to expect perfection out of others. Coaches aren't perfect, kids are not perfect, parents are not perfect, athletic directors are not perfect. We all have to work together. Please join us as we have a great winter season, and help us to remember to, above all things, bear with each other and put on love, which binds us all together in perfect unity.